What's going on, everybody? The patch notes for Game Update 8 to Anno 1800 were just released a little while ago by Blue Byte. These are the updates coming alongside the Bright Harvest DLC that will be released on June 2nd. The release time frame is around 6 p.m. CEST. Do the conversion as you need to for your region, and it'll be about 1.8 gigabytes, which is roughly standard for one of their DLC update downloads. Patch notes are full of a lot of awesome things to talk about, so let's get in there and see what we get to play with. So the biggest thing is the item overview system. This is something that we have been asking for a long time now. Up until now, we've been using the ANNO Asset Viewer, which was a fantastic third-party tool which had data for all items and specialists in the game and where they come from and all of the nitty-gritty details on them. Well, they have now brought that over into the statistics menu and then expanded on that tool. As you can see right here in the screenshot they provided, unfortunately I can't make it any bigger. They didn't provide a nice big like 1440p picture. It's just a very tiny little picture of it. But I can point out what's going on over here. We can sort by islands or by all islands. We can see in that storage all the different items they have. And this is just like if you're at the warehouse. You can sort by ship, trade union, harbor master, town hall, or cultural. And then we can also sort by equipped. So if it's already in a museum or zoo, botanical garden, or on a ship, or if it's in storage and not being used. And then we can also sort by unknown and see a list of all the items in the game that we have not found yet. You can search by the item's name itself if you know it, and look up everything over here. Then over here is the actual item information. As you can see right here, their example is Deke's Indispensable Dockyard Crate. It shows you all the information about the item right here. And then these two tabs over here, the one that they're showing us is the item source. So this is just like in the asset viewer where you can see everywhere that you could possibly get it from. What I don't know is if it's going to show percentages or not. My guess is no, because mostly the percentages are under 1%, except for if you have like right to remain active, or maybe the nose specialist or the New World Huaca set. Other than that, most of the percentages are like well under 1%. Some of them are below like a 0.5%. So it would not surprise me if there weren't percentages, just because that's information that's not really necessary to know. But just knowing where all it can come from is very, very useful. Now, the other tab that they did not show us, but someone from Blue Byte was kind enough to click on that for us and showed a screenshot on Discord, was the item location. So if you have an item that is actually on board a ship, you can see it on the ship when you select it over here. That's very, very useful if you have items. If you can't find an item in any of your warehouses and you know it's on a ship somewhere, click the item, go to item location, look for the ship that it's on. There you go. You're done. This is just an awesome tool. I'm so excited about this. It's going to be so handy especially for new players who are like, I keep hearing about this item and I don't know where to get it from. Where do I get it from? Where do you find this thing? All you got to do is go right here now in game, find the item, look it up, figure out where you need to get it from, and start hunting. Very excited about this feature. So glad they put it in. Blue Byte has been fantastic ever since the game came out about listening to player feedback and player requests and doing things like this for us. So super, super excited about that. The next things we got right here are trading posts and warehouses are receiving additional upgrades here for more loading ramps. Old World can go to level 4 and New World to level 3. Now that is going to be very handy given the fact that all of our farms and animal farms are going to be putting out up to 300% now. That's without any other item boost. That's just the farm plus the tractor module or silo module. So they're going to be churning out quite a few of the market carts, and we're going to need more loading capacity to handle all of the new productivity. So that is going to be very, very useful. The Great Eastern is finally going to show up. Only thing I have been told is that there's going to be a special, unique way of getting it. What I was not told is if you can only have one or if you can have multiple. I don't know. I know you can at least get one. and I'd be happy with just one. I just want a Great Eastern. I want a Great Eastern that it is not someone's interpretation through a mod of what it should be. I want an actual Great Eastern that Ubisoft Blue Byte came up with. So cannot wait to see the Great Eastern in game. Made some changes to trade routes. Very small, minor change, but it will speed up how quickly you can create a trade route. Less clicks, basically, is all this boils down to. You no longer have to press accept after selecting a new good for the trade route. That's all it is. Oh, and it will default to 50. Before it defaulted to 0, and you had to tell it to do 50, I think. But yeah, you can now. It's now just defaulted that you don't have to click accept anymore. It's just instant. So it just makes it a little bit faster. Electricity poles are now optional. It can be turned off in the game settings. Oddly enough, this is huge to me. I actually am using a mod at the moment to turn off electricity poles because I hate the way they look everywhere. So the ability to just have it available in the game settings is great. Little things like this really show that they are listening to what the people want. Even something as minor and as silly as this is just a big thing that they're actually letting us do that. So then the big section on the skins, we knew skins were coming and that we were going to be able to change up our ships. They announced that in the dev blog. So this is a really cool one right here that we get to apply the Imperial Pack skins to our um, flagships and the trains. I was very upset when they released the Imperial Pack for everybody that you had to start a new game to get access to them. I thought that was just a little silly. So I'm glad that they are branching that out and we can apply those in game now. And the new skins for the battle cruiser and the collier, which is the cargo ship, if you're not familiar and didn't know that, is going to be really cool. I don't know what these look like. I'm really excited to see what their battle cruiser and cargo ship skins look like. So that's going to be really cool. And last but not least, rejoice all you people that have been just complaining nonstop about this. The game's soundtrack is being fixed to where it's not going to repeat itself every time you change a region. It will have new music. So there you go. You get new music. Be happy finally. So balancing changes. These were announced about a week or two ago, but we'll go through them again real quick. Map generation changes are coming, so there's going to be more balance between zinc and copper, and the fertilities are being fixed to where you won't have maps without some fertilities or with only one fertility on one island, or not one fertility on one island. You'll have one fertility on one island in the entire region. Sometimes like people would get like only one island have cotton on it, and that was it. So they are fixing this. The downside to this is all of the map seeds are changing now. So if you had a map seed that you considered like the god seed, basically, it's no longer going to be the same. It's going to be a different seed. So you're going to have to go through and play around with seeds and figure out one you like. So be prepared for that. If you're looking for seeds for a game, do not go looking for old Reddit posts or anything else on the internet about map seeds because they won't be the same anymore. Changes to the newspaper productivity buff. This is technically actually a nerf for that because before the newspaper boosts that you could do for propaganda multiplied the total effect on the factories. Now it's just additive, so it won't be nearly as big of a boost. I understand why they did this. You could exploit this and get a ridiculous amount of boosts on your factories. So I understand why they did it. Some people might be a little upset about it because they enjoyed their ridiculous boost to all their factories, but this is what it is. And the last but not least, we have a couple of balance changes to specialists. We have Marie Antoine removed a deprecated effect and replaced it with a 50% productivity buff. Marie Antoine was a legend, or is a legendary specialist that affects the bakeries. And currently in game, its only effect is you get chocolate and grapes produced every. I think grapes is every 6 cycle of the bakery you get one, and then every 5 cycles you get one chocolate. There was supposed to be a buff on there, but it wasn't working right. So they have removed the deprecated effect and replaced it with a 50% productivity buff. So now Marie Antoine will also boost the effects of your bakeries by 50%, as well as the extra goods. And Ciara, or Kiara, however you say that word, she also had he also had a deprecated effect on there, or she, I guess. See, I messing it all up. She had a deprecated effect, but it's being removed and replaced and with no replacement because she already has 2 effects like other epic specialists. So, general improvements. The multi-copy tool can now be used to copy railway tracks. That's going to be, I guess that's fine. I mean, if you really need to copy your railway tracks. Improved animations in the additional content menu. Behavior of the mortar and torpedo items has been brought in line with other similar items. This one right here, improved behavior of escort ships on trade routes to appear smoother. I like that, but I want them to fix trade routes for escorts for trade routes so they actually stay with their ship. I don't recall seeing anything in the bug fixes about this, and actually, never mind. No, never mind. I thought I missed. I was saying that I was like, well, I read all the bug fixes. I don't recall seeing it, and then I happened to glance down and I saw something, but I don't think it's the same. Yeah, I don't know if they fixed the escort issue yet. I'm hoping they have, but I don't know that they did. Sometimes escorts will, well, sometimes, usually, always, the escorts will lose their escort ship while on region transfers for trade routes. So hopefully they'll get that fixed. A couple little things, placing the Blue Palace blueprint. God, I can't say the word. Will no longer trigger music. That's fine. These are like little minor things right here. Polish the art on the shipyard. That's an interesting one. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna have to take a screenshot of the shipyard before the patch and then do one after the patch and kind of compare them, see what they look like, because I don't know what he means by polish the art. Now, there are a whole lot of bug fixes. Most of this page is the bug fixes. I'm not going to go through every single one of them because there are a lot of bug fixes. I am going to talk about a few that were kind of more prevalent exploits and just let you know what's going on with those. One of the bigger ones right here was, let's see, where's it at? Where was it? I just saw it. Oh God, I've already lost it. I was scrolling around and I've lost it. Too many things on my screen right here. I'm probably mousing right over it. Where was it? I don't. Oh, this is driving me crazy. There. Oh God, it's right there. I looked at it like 5 times. All right. Policy effects from local departments will no longer multiply due to gaining or losing the influence level. This was a big one that got brought up all the time on Discord by people. They're like, hey, my factory next to this trade union is showing like 5 plus 50% electricity boost. Is this correct? No, that was a bug, and people were exploiting it actually, and especially in multiplayer stuff. Um, that was a bug that was being caused by that, and they are fixing that. So if you did not know that that was a bug, you do now. So if you have factories that are being affected by this, that you're relying on all of those additional boosts, you need to go ahead now and rearrange, do what you need to make up for the fact that you're going to lose all those extra boosts from the trade union and as well as the town hall. So, trade unions, town halls, harbor masters, anything that was affected by the local departments, it will no longer multiply. So, be aware of that. Fix anything that needs to be fixed, and go ahead and make up for it now. A couple of other things down through here. This one right here fixed the diplomacy exploit where players could quickly farm reputation with certain other NPCs due to their reactions when pursuing an alliance with Benta Jorgensen. This was just a small little exploit that lets you build up a lot of reputation far quicker than you should have. So they are fixing that. Crown Falls will no longer occasionally change its name to a random one. This one affected me several times, so I'm glad to see that I can log the game up, load the game up, and it will no longer be called Bayonet. It will be called Crown Falls as it is supposed to be. I think those were the major ones right there. Oh, forgot about this one right here. Another new local department one. People had found an exploit to let you build local departments in the new world, which you're not supposed to. So that as well is being fixed. So if you happen to have a local department in the new world, go ahead and get ready to not have it. You might as well just go ahead and destroy it now. Fix your stuff the way it's supposed to be without a local department, and get ready for the change because it is coming. Everything else down through here are a lot of graphical and user interface fixes, some multiplayer changes. changes to a couple of items, and some changes to quests. Read them at your leisure. Because that is really all I wanted to talk about. Mostly the highlights and the balancing, the general improvements, and go over those exploit bug fixes that a lot of people have been talking about. I'm excited for all these changes. I'm super excited for the new item overview. I can't wait to see that in person and in action in the game and mess around with a little bit. Of course, and then there's all the stuff coming with Bright Harvest. We barely know exactly how Bright Harvest is going to work. We have pretty good idea of what's going to happen with it, but there's still some details about it we're not entirely sure yet. So I'm excited for it. I hope you're excited for it. I will be making some guides starting next week after the DLC is released. So be on the lookout for those, and I have several other guides in the process right now. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I do guides, I do let's plays, I do lots of Anno content. I have almost 300 videos right now. Most all of it is Anno 1800 related content. So check all that stuff out. Would love to have you, and we will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.